Hello, everyone. This is Aditya Mehta, your host, not at the podcast on personality development today, but at the Podcasters Wrap 2020 show. And with me today are 9 podcasters based on, they do podcasting on different topics with so much good content. And I really feel jealous sometimes because they have such a great content and, I actually can't do it. So, please welcome the very first person I would like to invite. He's just amazing because whenever I listen to him, I always feel like, you know what, ये बंदा बहुत सही है. Okay, this is the guy, who does everything which he wants. Okay, despite of all the suggestions which I give to him. His podcast is based on self improvement and self care, and he is like a small brother to me, and that's Abhishek Sarkar. Uh, aka ORG Cast. So, welcome Abhishek. You are a great friend to me.
Thank you, Aditya. It's a great that I interviewed you on my podcast, and Halle, I interviewed you also on my podcast. So it was a great talking with you. So apart from all that, today I just wanna ask you all of you one question that what you think. It's not funny. It's just a experience what you have in this 2020 in this lockdown which you have experienced which you think कि वो कभी नहीं हो सकता मतलब it can't be experienced in your whole life that you experience in this 2020. What do you think?
Okay,
Just I
so
will just ask with just start with Aditya.
okay. Well, so the basic question which you asked is, what happened in 2020 which anyone didn't expect it during the lockdown period. Well, I will give the answer for sure, but first I would like to start with a new face today, and that new face is Swapnil Shukla to me. Okay, like he's an amazing podcaster, but I've met him like the very first time, and obviously Ashwin as well. But Swapnil, if you can start with this answer. What
Yeah,
is that one unexpected thing which you experienced in during the lockdown period?
yeah. First of all, the unexpected thing, like my podcast name is Beer with Bob. So I'm too much fascinated and obsessed with beers, different types of beers, and all these breweries and things. So that was the thing that I was not able to be ready with, like in lockdown and all. So everyone was quit, and so I have to be there without my beers and all, and without experience because I'm too much experience, getting experience in these industry, the foods and all the beauty courses and all. I go to visit places. I also do food blogging and all. So I love to go to beer places, craft beers. I used to try and all. So I'm into it, and I was not ready for all these things because I just left my place and I just left my hometown and went to some place for the parties and to chill around. But I was stuck at that place for around 3 months. So that was something more that was not needed. But I was okay with 15 days or something. But I was stuck here for 3 months or something. So that was some new experience. And even I went to realize more and more things. So that was good for me. But it was unexpected. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. When you come to Mumbai, make sure you contact me. We will have a Budweiser together.
Sure, man. Sure, man. I love to do it.
Okay, great. So the next up, I would like Ashwin to answer this question. What is that one unexpected thing which you faced during this lockdown?
So unexpected good, I think, was so I live by myself in London, and I have done for like the past 10 years, and I've gotten very used to being, by myself or in a very, how should I say it, very excitable environment. And yet this year, I think I spent the most amount of time with my parents and my family after so long, and it was such a nice thing because like I do come back a lot and I do enjoy spending so much time. Like I actually enjoy my family's company, which I know a lot of people don't, which is why they don't go home. But I regularly go home, but this was the first time that it wasn't just a quick, 2-3 days on the weekend and then come back. I literally spent months and months, and I felt like I actually got to, get to know them, all over again, which was really nice. And another really nice thing that was quite unexpected was, I think also just from this, is that my sponsors and also my brother's business expanded, and they've created a new studio, and they very kindly managed to convince them to create a little podcast room for myself. So that was a really nice unexpected thing as well from my side, which was really nice to see.
That's great. That's great. I mean, it's quite obvious, and I'm very grateful actually that you started your podcast so that I can listen to those intense conversations between you and your guest. It's pretty amazing.
Oh no, I appreciate it. Hopefully, lots more to come.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. The next person I would like to ask is Farheen, who runs a podcast named Awkward Adult. So, Farheen, what was that one unexpected thing which happened to you in the lockdown?
Okay, so one of the things that I never thought that I would really do was cooking, because I always thought that that is something which is very boring, and I never imagined myself cooking like 3 meals a day, not just for me but also for my flatmates. So, and actually I enjoyed it, which was very surprising, because always my sister and my mother used to say that like it's fun, and I used to think that what fun is there in like cooking, like it's always sounded so boring, but I actually enjoyed doing it, and I learned a lot of recipes. So that is one thing that I learned in during this lockdown.
That's really amazing. I think you actually missed out one thing which happened in 2020, and that is like you are showing your face for the very first time. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is something unexpected which happened for you. I'm definitely sure this is the first time you will
Yeah.
be going online with showing your face. So that's pretty amazing as well. Okay, so the next person is, let's say, Haley Wheeler. If she can share something.
I think spending 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with my children was quite new. I don't think they would want to do that by choice. I think they were forced as much as I was. But actually, it was really nice. It was nice to have quality time without all the stresses of real life, because I think those kind of reduced, because we weren't doing sports and we weren't having to be everywhere. I have 4 children, so I wasn't having to be in 3 different places at once. And so it was really nice, as much as it was forced, and probably none of us out of the 5 of us would have chosen that. We've enjoyed.
That's amazing. Enjoying with family is always good when it is, once in a while, but I don't know, like every day. But you enjoyed it, right? So I mean, I don't have to say anything. Okay. So coming back, okay, to the question, obviously, I would like to, put in Tanvi Malara into it. What was that one unexpected thing other than you being on my show, obviously? You are on mute. Tanvi, you are on mute.
Can you hear me now? Am I audible?
Yes.
Hi. It's just that I can't see anybody's faces. It's like I'm talking to myself. I can't see anyone's faces, but it's okay. I'm gonna answer the question straight away. So many things happened. I saw Aditya's face for the first time today. That was quite unexpected. I never thought he'll show his face. Second thing was I baked insane amount of cakes, and I've realized that I am not a chef. I can't do it. Third unexpected thing was I started my podcast, which was always a dream, but never, it was never real until 2020 and this pandemic hit. I started my podcast and I started writing my book. I think many good things have happened in my life. I'm sorry, I don't want to like belittle what's happening everywhere, but a lot of good things have happened in 2020 for me and my own development. So I'm really glad that this, it happened with me. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I agree to the fact that please don't be Chef N, because you are going to bake some cakes with very healthy recipes, which anyone wouldn't like it. Can you share that as well? Like what kind of
I,
healthy
I,
cakes
I
you were preparing?
Dude, it's so funny. I wanted to revolution. I wanted to change the whole concept of cake. Okay, I wanted to make healthy cake. So I was like, I'll take oats, I'll take almond flour. Then I just started replacing flour with, I don't know if you all know this, but black chana and the chickpeas. So I should start make cakes with them. Then I decided why use sugar also. Then I replaced sugar with dates. Replaced sugar with raisins. And then and then I thought, why should I use butter also? I should not put butter. So I made cakes without butter. And then in some time, like when the cake used to come out, my dad was, he sent me a Google image of how a cake should look like, and how my cake looked. And he's like, "Kamli, please do us all a favor. Please let us eat healthy. Oh, sorry, please let us eat unhealthy cakes because that's the way they are supposed to be." So I
So,
stopped doing it.
so maybe you invented something new. So you can call something new that thing, right?
Yeah, I only it's me and my pet dog Benny. Only both of us can relish that cake. And nobody else would touch it.
No,
It's
I'm
really
definitely sure Farid would like to try that
Yeah, I
if
would.
it's ready-made cooking.
I'll just send it to you.
Yeah, I'll send you my
It will be a
address.
new experience.
At least some of us can appreciate what we are doing here.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the next podcaster is a very, I would say, very habituated with the fact that she wants to be very much happy, and she's addicted to be happy. Okay, and she wants that each and every one of us should be living a happy life with her podcast known as Searching Paradise. So, Sonia Singh, if you can just chop in and answer the question, what did one unexpected thing happen with you in during this lockdown or during the entire 2020?
Um, okay, hi everybody. First of all, thank you so much. I think we look so nice sitting here. It's just so weird seeing all this. So there are a lot of unexpected things that happened. First of all, I quit my job in February, thinking that I'll find another one in 2 months or so, and then that's when lockdown happened, and I was like, okay, that is bad. And then I had to sit home for 6 months, and there's a lot of things that I learned was that you know you get to stay with family for so long, and you bond with them, and then you understand that they're important and they love you a lot actually, and they support you a lot. And then I learned was that savings are important, because I kept spending, and all of a sudden you realize that you don't have a source of income per se, and then you should manage your money better. uh, yeah, so many things. And then I found one job. I'm quitting it by myself, and I found another one. That is unexpected. It doesn't happen in Corona time, but I'm lucky enough to have it, and I'm just happy that way. And also, sorry. I also got a dog, and who I love so much. So I think that's amazing. And I started my podcast. There are so many things actually good happened to me, and I had Corona also. So yeah, I faced that, and I'm okay now. So yes, experienced it all.
That's great. That's great. However, there is, it all comes down to me. So I'm the last one to answer, Abhishek, like you said. Very, very one weird thing I would say that happened to me is just like last week on Friday. I had my wisdom tooth removed. Okay, and I really thought that okay, it's just fine. Okay, so I went to a dentist. Okay, and when I went to the dentist, she was like so sweet. I mean, I never thought that I would be going through with such a pain. So she was very sweet, and she told me that don't worry, it is just a process. We will just make this thing numb, and you won't even feel a thing. But when she started the process, that's where I realized that, oh, I should never do this again, you know. I mean, she was putting so much of pressure, and her face at that time wasn't sweet at all, believe me. Okay, so that is one weird thing which happened, and it was very unexpected for me because I take very good care of my teeth. However, I fell down, so there is one teeth which is half broken. Okay, but I never thought that it would happen to me, but it just happened. So
So,
can't
so
do
you can
anything
say
with
that
that.
it was not very wise of you to take your wisdom teeth out.
Not as of. I mean, that's a contradictory statement for me. I am happy that I removed it because
Okay.
I was in a lot of pain. But
Okay.
during that period of time, I was like, I just want to give up. I just don't want to remove it now. Halfway down, I am telling my dentist, you know what? I don't want to do it. Just stop it. And then she told me like, just breathe. Don't worry. You have been brave. Okay, so by taking this decision, so just be more brave and complete the process. So yeah, that was one weird thing, and one very unexpected thing happened with me just during the end of 2020. Okay,
Great.
so yeah, is anyone left with answering this? I mean, there are 9 people right now, and it's showing me 10. Is there anyone left which is not on the screen? No, right? Okay,
No.
I don't miss anyone normally. Okay, so so coming back to the next question, which will be asked by Ashwin Kohli. Okay. Acha, there is one thing, Ashwin, which I actually wanted to ask you. Okay. And it might sound really personal. Like, are you somewhere related with Virat Kohli as well?
That's not personal at all. No, I have a funny anecdote though. So I'm not related to him, but I have met him a few times. And one time he was doing, I think it was T20, and he was in Birmingham in England. And myself and a couple of our friends were at a restaurant, and he was literally on the table next to us. And this was way before, he was married to Anushka, I think even dating her. So he was literally, there was him and I think it was another cricketer, and a whole table of girls. Like there must have been 10 women on that table. And after a while, they went outside for a little bit, and we'd finished our dinner and we'd all gone out. And we were a group of girls as well, and went outside. And we were like, we really want a group picture. We like, there was no one around. It was quite empty, but Virat Kohli was there. So we asked, I think he got a bit offended because we asked him to take a picture of us rather than taking a picture with him. So that was one nice little anecdote, but no, I am not related to him, sadly.
Okay. Please proceed with your question.
So my one thing is that there's so many influencers and so many amazing people out there, and I think one of the things that we do tend to do is look and compare it to a number of people on social media, and I think a lot of good does come from it as well as we learn to develop our personalities and our journeys. So my question is, who in terms of influences, whether it's on social media or if it's in your personal lives, do you hold like value, or who do you get value from?
Oh, that's pretty amazing. To answer that, I would like to start with Abhishek Sarkar.
Okay. So when I started my journey of podcasting, then I just following one guy which is known as Beer Biceps, aka Ranveer Alabadia. I just consume content of him like from many years, and then when this lockdown started, I thought now to start something else. Now कुछ अपना. Now to start, मतलब अपना कुछ start करते हैं. So then I started this podcasting on the self improvement journey with this guy Ranveer Alabadia, means online mentor. I just made him an online mentor, and I watch all the videos, and I recommend also people to watch because the guy has an incredible knowledge of self of spirituality, of everything. I think entrepreneurship and everything is a mixture of everything. I just admire him, and yeah, and I also recommend people to follow him because you will get a great content from there.
Is that because of the content?
Yes, of course, yes.
Okay. So, I do agree with Abhishek Sarkar that, Ranveer Allabadia is one of the most, I would say, famous influencers in India. Okay. In especially for the people who want to, self-develop themselves, I think Ranveer Allabadia is the best. And I hope that someday even he'll be watching this video on YouTube, and that would be amazing, right? Keeping my dreams high, keeping my hopes up. So, you know, you never know. Okay, so the next person to answer this question, I would say Tanvi Malhara, because I remember her saying on my show that, but still, like, go on and tell who actually influences you.
Am I audible?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, you are
Oh my
audible.
God, there are so many people who influence me in day-to-day life. But the one person who has been like constant in my life, I don't want to say my father because that's such a cliched answer, but he really, really influences me because, and my family in general, because they are such overachievers in life. And I'm always surrounded by, my dad and my brother who I have never heard them say I'm tired or I give up, I don't want to work, or I can't do this. It's so inspiring because every day he's so motivated. Both of my father and my son, not my son, I'm not married, my brother, both of them are so motivated to do better and get better in life and in their profession, that I just really, really get motivated by that. And that really influences me in my life decisions and in my work area, in my profession, and in my personal life. That is a very cliched answer, I know, but it's really, really true. And if you talk about social media influences, that I think Jamila Jamil, that woman is such crazy woman. I love her so much. I relate to her so much because growing up and very like till my early 20s, I had a lot of, I mean, I was struggling with eating disorder and body image issue like a lot of girls. It's not like a unique thing, but like the way she puts up very real content about body shaming and everything related to body and body conscious things, I relate to her, and I think that woman really influences me and inspires me. Every time she puts up anything on Instagram. If you don't know about her, you should watch her show Good Place. I'm sure you guys know her, but if you don't know, you can watch her show and then follow her on Instagram. That's it.
Yep, I know her, and I also know your brother, okay, whose name is Tanay Malhara. Okay, he's a famous dancer, okay, and he has won a show as well in India.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I definitely agree with all the things which you have said. Okay, coming back to Hailey Wheeler, I mean, I don't know, she herself is a great influencer, but who do you follow? I mean, who influences you, Haley? You're on mute.
I'm not a massive follower of influencers on social media, but I do get a lot of inspiration from my clients, whether they're adult clients or child clients, because when they're fighting a battle and they overcome that battle, it's just amazing. It's such a transformation, and I get to witness that. So I get to see how they do it, and I get to learn from that. And I think that's probably the best experience ever.
That's pretty amazing, that actually reminds me of my own statement, which I said on Abhishek Sarkar's show, that I always do this thing that I always follow people who are one step ahead of me, okay, and see how they put efforts and become successful. And when I achieve that, my role model changes, and I will follow one step ahead of me. So taking small steps and improving myself. So that's a really great idea.
One
But
thing I want to
apart
add
from,
up here.
yeah,
One
sure.
thing I want to add up here because when you said that I follow people were ahead of me. I just seen one video of I don't know who, but in that video he was telling that ki, who who do like this, they are the creative mindset people. I just I saw one video, so I thought ki I just put it in
Yeah,
this video.
definitely. You mean I am a
And you are a
creative
man
mindset,
of
right?
creative. Yeah,
Thank you, thank you. I really want. I love hearing my own compliments. Always. Okay, just kidding.
everyone does, man.
Okay, so so yeah. But apart from that, I also follow one amazing author, which is known as Robin Singh. Okay, he's just an amazing author, and I follow him a lot. Okay, as a big influencer, I would say I read all his books. To be very honest, like How to Sell a Ferrari, To Discover Your Own Destiny,
Yeah.
every book I read. So yeah, that's one influencer for me. Okay, the other person which I would to whom I would like to pass this question is, let's say, Farheen Samad, the awkward adult.
Yeah. So, one of my most biggest inspiration for starting podcast was Brian Rose. I don't know if you guys know him. He is the speaker of London Real. So he was actually a MIT graduate, but he didn't feel fulfilled through his job as a banker. So he started podcasting and he turned his career into an entrepreneur. And now he takes interview of these famous people, and they really talk about deep things. And even I aspire to go to that level and start my own interview show and talk to such people. So he was one of my biggest inspiration, like if you ask social media wise. And yeah, so that would be it.
Okay. That's really amazing. That's really amazing. And I do appreciate the fact that I do know about Brian a lot, because I actually started listening to his podcast first. Then I go ahead and then I started listening to Beer Biceps podcast. So
Yeah.
yeah, I do know him. Okay, other than
Yeah.
that, my that the question will be passed on to, let's say, Swapnil Shukla.
Okay, so the thing is that I have always been into some spiritual thing, and also I actually I have two sides. One is some jolly and funny types, and the other is like I have to be connected with that part of my life. So there's a book called Autobiography of Paramahansa Yogananda. You might have heard of that book. So I had that book, was I was not mentally prepared for it. So I just prepared myself to go through that book, to go to that level. And I went through that book in this COVID time, and I was really inspired with them, and it really helped me with various of my life issues and all. So I am inspired by them, and that's what just motivates me to go ahead.
That's great. That's great. So going ahead in spirituality as well as with current life. That's pretty great.
And
Okay. So well, let's say that this question will be passed on to Sonia Singh now.
Um, Thanks. So for me personally, I think over a period of time, there's a lot of influence that you have. Say somebody like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Tony Robbins, and there are so many new neurosurgeons who are coming up and giving so many podcasts and talk. So I think they had a lot of influence. But what motivated me was, um, I saw that there are a lot of influencers on social media who are not trained, and they just pick up stuff from somewhere and they speak about it, and that really pissed me off because they'll just be like, try this, try that, and which doesn't work. So, these fake influencers basically, and I absolutely hated it. I was like, people don't have information and they're spreading wrong information also. And, I should do something about it. That's when I thought that even when you have a podcast, there has to be a certain amount of correct information that you should give. And if you have a problem, then you should find a solution. And, that's why I started my podcast, because I know that I have the information and I'm just keeping it to myself. So it's better that I put it out. So that was the whole point. And I was amazed by the fact that, you know, I know so many of them. Let's just say Tony Robbins is a very big name. But if I ask my friends, If I ask my 10 friends also, I'm sure none of them will know it. And I'm like, how is it that you don't know about this guy? How is it that you don't know what he's teaching? And how is it that you are so poor at managing things? And I was like, okay, if you don't know, then I will teach. That's as simple as that. So
Right.
yeah, that was it.
So I really appreciate the fact, that you took influence, I would say, from the bad thing and then doing it in a correct way, and that's a great thing. So great, awesome. Okay, Ashwin, now it is back to you. You have to answer your own question. So, and I just realized that I missed Abhishek on his own question, but and I just said that I never miss anyone. Okay. Anyways, so
Um,
Ashwin.
yeah, no, so I think very similar to quite a few of yours. I think two sides, definitely family. Also have a very overachieving, very hyperactive family. So it's very much one of those like trying to maintain and make sure that we are actually, as human beings, fulfilling our purposes and actually doing what we want to do passion wise. And they've never stopped me or stood in their way from that. And they've always actively encouraged me. So in terms of influence, they've always made a huge impact. And then I guess in terms of socially and globally, there's so many across the world. I think the biggest influences for sure from like America and things like that have been people like Michelle Obama and Mindy Kaling, which I always say because they were essentially the strong brown faces that I got to see growing up, and would like to think I am almost like the love child of both of them. But if you put them together, um, but yes, and then there's so many others. There's people like Deepa Bulakosla, who has an amazing Instagram page and definitely speaks very honestly, and is, definitely breaking barriers and glass ceilings all over the place. And yeah, there's so many. I think we can all agree on that. But yeah, I think those would definitely be my two sides to it.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. And those are some heavy names which you took. I will have to research about that one for sure. Okay, so that's all I guess. Okay, so Abhishek, you have to answer your own question which I missed. So otherwise it would be
Okay.
unfair, right? I mean, come on.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay. So that question answer must be what I explore, which I won't be exploring in while it was not 2020. Okay. So the question was my self improvement journey. I bet to myself that I won't be uh, exploring this type of journey which I am experiencing right now, self improvement, self awareness. I think the spirituality journey also I started in this 2020 and in this lockdown. It was, I remember the date, that 29th May. I started all of the things, and my friends were calling me like, "What, dude? What are you doing? It's not your cup of tea. What are you doing? You are not this type of guy which you are doing right now." And I told them everything will happen. हो जाएगा सब धीरे धीरे. Everything will happen. I think now I feel that what I am right now is doing, or what right now what I am doing is good for me, and it's doing uh, benefit to me also. I can see the benefit.
that's
So
great.
yeah,
That's great.
yeah,
Yep, that's great. So, due to lockdown, you had enough amount of time to think about yourself and also about your self-improvement. That's pretty amazing. Okay, coming back to the questions round, Haley, what would be your question to all the podcasters?
What, after going through 2020 and we're going into 21 with a very similar expectant year, what advice would you give to somebody going into this year?
Wow, that's a great question. And obviously, the one person, okay, who would start with this, I would say Swapnil Shukla.
You could have given me some time to think, man. You just said swap me. Advice. I have to think
कोई
a bit.
लोड नहीं है भाई सोच ले नो प्रॉब्लम
Advice that
Okay.
in 2020 just taught us like everything is so uncertain. So we are giving importance to such materialistic things, and sometimes we get unsatisfied, and we are sad about some materialistic things that we wanted or something. So it gives a clear picture that life is not all about these things. There are much better and more things in life that we have to catch up. So maybe everything was uncertain. So various uncertainties can be there in 2021 and various other years, and maybe in your personal life or something. So we have to be more particular about what we are as a human than getting all these attracted to all these fancy things, you know.
Right.
That's what
Right.
I, yeah.
That's a great advice. I'll follow it for sure. For sure. Okay. Ashwin Kohli, can you answer that? Obviously, you have to.
Yeah. So I think, well, I mean, I think 2020 for me was quite a blessing, and I definitely needed it, as I think a lot of people do say as well. But I think for someone who's just going into it, I think there's a certain level of ideas around change. And as human beings, regardless of if it's 2020 or anything in your life, acknowledging and accepting that change is always inevitable and adapting to it is strength in itself. So, my advice to anyone, from that perspective would be to acknowledge the fact that change will come, whether it's 2020 or 2025, and to know that it's, within strength that you get to learn things about yourself and actually appreciate the year that's coming to you.
That's pretty amazing. Have you opened Google? I mean, somewhere. I mean, that was really a great answer.
No, I'm very much like a sentimental baby. So
That's pretty amazing. Okay, so Sonia Singh will, be the next one. So Sonia, go ahead.
Okay, am I supposed to answer a question or should I ask a question?
No, you have to answer the question, right? What advice you will be giving to the people to go ahead and, in 2021, what they should do because it's going to be a similar year as 2020.
Oh, we're all going through so many situations, and I'm just afraid of giving any advice because it's so uncertain. And but all you can do is prepare yourself. That's all I can talk about. That prepare yourself mentally, financially, and just hold on, and it'll be fine. It's just another phase, so it's fine. And also,
Okay.
I would say that stop making excuses because we kept saying that when I had time, I would have exercised. When I had time, I would do this, I would do that. And I realized that the moment I had so much of time, I didn't wanted to do shit. I didn't wanted to do anything. I just wanted to like lay on bed and just be there for like so many hours and hours and hours. And I realized, okay, it was not time, but it is priority. And I think we can just learn about how to manage our time better. That's all.
That's great. That's great. I am definitely sure, I'm actually waiting for an amazing answer from the guy who has started How to Be Productive series on Instagram. So, Abhishek Sarkar, please go ahead with the answer.
Okay. So one thing I would like to say that कि just अपने health का ख्याल रखो. It's everything is going to be your health. If you are well, then you are fine. If your immunity is strong and everything is fine. And second advice is that ki time heals everything. And this I I can relate that this I think this would matlab, which advice I am giving right now is not everyone can't relate this, but yes, I also get this advice in one of my interview कि time heals everything, and I think that's the great advice I have taken from this 2020, that time heals everything. Everything which is broken, everything which is not in definite position, it will be indefinite, but you have to wait for that time and do your work, do your part of work which you are meant to do. And
everything will be
great.
fine.
That's great. That's great. That's a great advice. I'm definitely sure many people would be following it after watching this on YouTube. Okay, so next up, let's say Tanvi Malhara.
One very serious, am I audible? I
Yeah.
have to ask this question. Okay. One very serious advice I would want to give me and many people is stop baking. Okay. You don't have to bake everything at home. Please leave that job for a professional bakers. No need to bake. Secondly, I want to say that please hydrate yourself. We don't want dehydrated babies. Third thing I want to say is exercise, move your bodies. I think one of the ways to be happier is to actually just move, and that's something you can just do at your homes. You don't need gyms for that. And fourth thing that I want to say is just do the work. I mean, technology has made so many things, the impossible things possible, and there's nothing that we can't do. Look at us, we're just doing this. This
Yeah.
is so unexpected and so out of the ordinary, and I just think everybody should just do the work and just get things done. That's it.
Yeah, it was my idea, by the way.
Oh,
Just
genius.
telling, I mean, just telling. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Farheen, what would you like to give the advice?
So my advice would be that it is very important to have a belief in anything. For instance, during this year, there were a lot of people who went to dark places, and it was very difficult for them to be hopeful or get out of that. And that is when belief comes into picture, because sometimes when my friends ask that, why do you believe in God, right? Like many people are like, how does that like help you? But the thing is, when you believe in something, it gives you the hope that yes, things will become better, and you don't always get it from outside. So you have to like prioritize and maybe see that there should be something like a purpose which will help you get out of those times and be hopeful that things will get better. So that would be something that I would like to advise, having a belief.
Inshallah, everything will be fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Okay, so well, I have one very important advice for all the people and also for me, I would say. Uh, See, I mean, get the experience from 2020, and in 2020, what we all have understood that it's all about expectations and not requirements. Okay, it's all about the we don't actually have needs. That's what I learned in 2020. Okay, like with this lockdown and with each and every hawker shop and every other pizza corner, everything was closed. During that period of time, I heard less and less amount of different disease, and I was only hearing about people suffering from corona, right? So I think that's because people were not eating outside food. That is the very first thing. Okay, the second thing I would say that because it's all about our requirement, and we actually don't need that in our day-to-day life. There are things which we don't need, and still we just want to get it because it's available outside. Okay, so I think that is one important thing which I would like to say everyone, that because take the experience from 2020 and know that there are certain things which are not required and you have to let it go, and you can survive a little more during these kind of situations especially. So yeah, that is one thing which I would like to say. I hope you all can relate it. So who is going to ask the next question? And I would ask Farheen to get on with the next question.
Yeah. So my question would be, maybe this is kind of fun. If you had to describe 2020 as a web series or a TV show or a movie character, which one would it be?
Okay, just 1 second. I mean, I really got your question, but I again forgot the Haley Wheeler, who is going to give the answer for the advice which people can give to 2021 for 2021. So please, Haley, go ahead.
I would say just do it anyway, even when it's hard. Do it, even when it's easy. Do it, and I think we've got a habit of making excuses, as Sonia said. But if you do it anyway and you do it consistently, things change, and they change because you want them to change. So I've been doing exercise over the last year, and I hate exercising, but I've got into the habit now of enjoying exercising because I've done it anyway.
Wow, that's pretty straight to the point answer. I really like that, and it was an amazing answer. Okay, so great. Fareed, yes. So Fareed has asked, if you want to, see it as 2020 as a web series. Okay, what what would you say about it? Which character it is, or which movie you can relate with? Is that your question, Fareed?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah. Okay, so
Movie
starting
or
off
TV
with
series or
okay,
characters.
okay. Okay, great. Starting off with Tanvi Malhara this time because obviously she's a amazing girl. I mean, she has done music video as well. So, somewhere she can relate.
That's so kind. I love the way you're hosting, by the way. Just wanted to appreciate you. Um, I'm expecting a thank you.
I said
One,
thank you.
okay, cool. Cool. Have you watched this series on Netflix? It's called You. Have you watched it? Have you guys watched it? I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
So it's a
No.
psychological American horror love story. So I think 2020 is like that pair, in three series.
Talk.
The person who madly falls in love murders the person at the end. I think 2020 has been that for so many people. I'm generalizing this, but for me it was very like okay, so I don't mind it. But I'm generalizing this for majority of us. That you.
That's okay, you. Okay. I'll make sure that I'll add it to my watch list.
Yes, please do. It's amazing. I mean, it's horrific, but it's amazing.
Ah, that's nice. That's nice. Okay, going to Ashwin Kohli.
I would say it started off like the movie World War Z, when I feel like everyone thought they were gonna get bitten by some radioactive zombie and die instantly, but not really die, and and then I feel like it ends up kind of like episodes of Friends, where you're just constantly going and sneaking between the different apartments and flats. So I'd say it's like between that. Started with one, ended with the other.
Shit, I have to change my answer.
Sorry. You can reuse it.
Okay, Swapnil Shukla.
So I think it's a series in Netflix, Dark. I hope you have gone through it. Yeah. So उसमें भी ऐसा है कि पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है. So when I'm like पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है, I don't know what's happening in 2020. Just like that. And one more thing, like you might have gone through that Bird Box, where a woman is there with two of her kids, and if she watches something outside, then she'll die or something. So it's like we are not allowed to go outside, and if we went outside, the corona will catch us and all. So it's like that.
Right, that's pretty amazing. Let's say Haley Wheeler. I mean, you can actually relate if you can.
I think it's Tom and Jerry. I think it's you just keep running and somebody keeps catching you.
That's so relatable, I guess.
That's
I mean,
such an honest answer.
Too relatable, man.
yeah, it's relatable. Tom and Jerry is actually relatable. Okay, Sonia Singh.
I would say, I don't know if you guys have seen the hype, the very hyped one, 13 Reasons Why. Have you seen it?
I
Yeah.
watched.
So it started off that it's good and you were interested and you were all hopeful that your new year will be very good. And then eventually, bad things happened. She died, and you were trying to figure out, and you felt emotional, like something bad happened. And then Corona happened similarly. And then, after some point of time, it was just annoying. It was just plain annoying. Like, why are you so cribbing about it? Why can't you just behave properly? And all of these things. And similarly, like with Corona, also we are fed up, and now we're just bored. And personally, I just finished the first season because I just wanted to know what happened. That's all. So now I have to go through this year as well. That let's just see what happens. So it's similar to me. So the 13 reasons why.
Abhishek Sarkar.
Guys, just a
So
minute.
the
Yeah, sure.
Sorry to actually, I just remembered a meme. That's why I'm laughing, and I want to
Okay.
share. I don't want myself to laugh alone. That
Yeah,
there was
sure.
like 2 minute silence for those who spent thousands to celebrate 2020 New Year.
Right. That's true. That's true. So actually, yeah,
yes.
people were having huge expectations. Okay.